Yay, our project is looking good, but now we actually need to display our products. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to put this aside and we'll get started on that portion. Okay, so I had my style sheet up. Now I'm going to go back to my product.component HTML and take a look at what we have here. So we have, if you look at all your HTML, we've got this table, great. And we've got the button, so that's what's showing the show image button. And then we've got some headings, great. And then we have our table body. So this is where we're going to put the listing of our products in the table body. So we're going to, well, first I guess we need some products, don't we? So how are we going to attempt to do that? All right, so I'm going to click on product component.ts. I'm going to put these side by side. So right now what I'm going to do is hard code in some products. We're going to create some product objects here, an array of product objects. If you look in my API folder and you look in products.json, you're going to see a bunch of array of coincidentally objects of products. So Control-Alt, Control-C. I'm going to copy those in. I don't think if I did that. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm going to copy those into our product components class. And so what we'll do is, I'm going to do a couple of things. Let's see, I'm going to make a page title property, and we'll call that, we'll say Acme Product Management or something along those lines. And we'll use that in a minute. And then the next thing I'm going to do is create my products array, products, and we'll, let's see. Let me just talk here for a moment. Okay, products, and then we'll go ahead and do that. So products, and then paste, Control V. So I'm pasting my array of products. All right, so part of, I'm going to make this go away so I have more real estate. Part of using TypeScript is the fact that we can strong type our variables. In other words, you and I both know that we're going to put a string in there, but technically I could put a number in here in JavaScript because JavaScript is loosely typed. And by utilizing TypeScript then, what I can do is strongly type, in other words, declare that this has to be a string. So after the colon, I'm going to type the word string equals. And so now what I've done is utilize TypeScript, which will then compile this into JavaScript, but from a programming standpoint, this is better, it makes a better tooling for me because it keeps me from doing things that on accident, like if I accidentally put 12 in here or a number, I would get an error, and we'll see how this comes into play in a little bit as well. But for the moment, I'm going to strong type page title as a string, and then what am I going to strong type products at? What is products? Well, not really sure right now. So for the moment, we're gonna type it as just any. So this can be any type of array, and so that's kind of like a wild card. We don't really know what a product looks like, or a product object looks like yet, but we will. We'll look at that one in a moment. So for now, we're just going to call that any. All right. So the next step then is we're going to, let's utilize this page title just as a memory. And then instead of product list then, we're going to data bind whatever is in our page title is going to be data bound here in, instead of hard coding product list then, we're going to put open and close curly braces, and we'll put in page title instead. So whatever it gets assigned to page title is what our page title is then going to display. So if you look at your browser now, it should say Acme Product Management, which it does. So we've now bound our data, our page title property, to our template. All right, my dog is groaning. I'm sorry, that is so boring, buddy. All right, I think it's exciting. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to assign all of these products to our table. So let's scroll down to table body, and this is where we're going to put that information. So each row, we're going to create a row for each product, and each row in our table is going to have the appropriate, whatever the headings are. So we're going to have a row with the TD of product, a row, in the same row there'll be a TD of code, available. And so for every product, there will be one row. So I don't know how many products are on here offhand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever it is. So we need to, let's see, start off with table row. And the idea is that table row needs to repeat itself for every product. And so I don't want to write table row and hard code every product because product amounts can change. And so we're going to use the ng4 directive, which will allow us to loop through all of the products. And for each product, it will generate a TR with the individual product information. So I'm going to say let product, so for each single product of products, so go look in this template's products, and for each products you're going to put into, every time you go through this loop, it's a loop, even though it doesn't say like for loop or whatever, it's looping through all the products. And for every time you go through a loop, put in that object into product so that we can just write one TR and let Angular handle that however many products we have. All right, so we're going to put that in quotations. So for each product in products, let's do something. And what we're going to do then is we're going to create, we need to create how many? We need how many TDs? One TD had an image, and then there's, so it's not, there's no, that's where the show image is. Let's look at this again. So I need show image. So there's going to be how many TDs in this row? One is going to have the image. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to need 6 TDs for each of those. So if you have Emmet installed, you can just do TD times 6 and tab, and it should do that for you. Perfect. All right, so for the moment, I'm just going to hard code in the word image because we're going to address that image here in a moment. And so in the rest of the TDs, we want to put in each of the appropriate property names. So product, so I'm going to type in curly braces and say product because that's the current object for each, in each for loop. Product, and then we have product name, product spelled correctly, product.name. Spelling is a thing for me. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on pause and put the rest of these in. So we need the rest of our, and recognize I'm getting product from here. For each product object, grab one of the properties and place that in here with data binding. So I'm going to put this on pause and finish that up. All right, so I didn't want you to have to go to the pain of watching me mistype everything. So now I have done product.product name, product code, release date, price, star rating, etc. And so now when you look at your browser, you should have some products that are displaying. So now we need to tackle this image. What we need to do is we need to put in the source of that image. So unlike data binding, we're binding the asset, which is in whatever image is in our image URL. We want to put that, and if you look in your Explorer, you'll see a folder called assets, and there's a folder called images, and that's where these images are being held. And so we want to bind the source of our image to these paths. In other words, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to do image and then bind the source src equal to, and then quotes product dot image URL. And so now if you look at your images, if I have done it right, oh, I'm missing my closing angle bracket for my my image tag. So now when you look at your page, it should have some very large images. And apparently I've done something wrong. I am missing something, and the reason why I know that is because I've done something wrong. Yes, I have. So I'm looking and I looked in my console and it says template parse error. I'm trying to do an interpolation, meaning I am putting in these curly braces when in fact the curly braces go here. But if I'm actually appending or binding the source here, I need just quotation marks. So that's an easy mistake to make. So now that I've done that and save it, let's see how I'm looking now. So now when I come back in here and I look at my page, okay, whoa, all right. So now I've got some pretty huge images showing up. That's awesome. No, it's not. So let's deal with our super huge images next. Okay, so I'm going to come over back into my, at the very top of my product list component, I'm going to add 2 more properties that will help me adjust the width of my image source, as well as I'm going to set a margin for my images. So that'll be 2 other properties. One I will call image width, and I will set that to, let's see, that's a number, so let's strong type that, and I'll set that to 50. And then I have an image margin, which will also strong type to a number, and I'll make that margin 5. 5 what? 5 pixels. Well, we're going to set that here in our image. So between the quotations and the closing angle bracket, I'm going to hit return, because these things are properties which are going to be bound inside of my image tag. In other words, I'm going to make, let's see, properties that are bounding. So that's a, oh, there we go. Style.width.pixels is equal to, and then we'll do product. Oh, actually, it's not a product anymore. It is the property of this particular class. So I'm not looping through products in this case. I just need the property that was set for this class. So I'm going to put in image width. Okay. And then I'm also going to have style.margin in pixels equal to, and again, the class property, which is image margin, image margin. Okay. And then I think I have this in the wrong place. There we go. And so I think while I'm on it, I'm also going to set the title, and we'll set that to, just for clarity, this is going to go to product dot, we'll do product name. Again, that doesn't go in, that's going to go in quotations because it's not, it's a, there we go. All right, so maybe I have to match my quotations. Okay, so that being said, now if we look at our page, let me move this over. So now that we look at our page, we have set successfully our margin, our width, and the title, because you can see leaf rake is coming over and garden cart is coming over. And in fact, if we right click on this and look at inspect element, we should in fact be able to see in the inspector, we should be able to see that information being displayed. So let's see, that's in the table, and in the table I can see the body, that's where we put this, and in the TR I can see all of that information that we put in. So there's image source equals, so that got I don't want to say interpolated, but that got read in. There is our width is 50 pixels, so that was our class property. Margin was 5 pixels, that was our class property. And then title came from our product object. So now we have that in here as well. Whew. All right. So now we have successfully imported our different products. The next step is when we click on show image, this will be in our next video, we would like to be able to toggle between showing our image and not showing our image. So that's the next video.